Hi, hello, and welcome. So, I went to the grocery store. Oh, nice. The other day, and I saw some. Well, I was near the aisle where they sell the trading cards. So, I was like, let's see. I'm looking over here, like the cameras are. Let's see. Usually the camera is there. Let's see what booster packs they have. So, I actually got two, and I didn't know which one to start with, and I was going to ask Siri, but I just grabbed one. So this is the one we're starting with today. Fight dragons with dragons. Interesting. Talk here faces a full-scale draconic assault, pitting clan against clan and all of civilization against a maelstrom of wings, claws, and fire. Choose one of 5 clans and discover your favorite way to play. Then prepare your forces for nature's fury. Master the fearsome dragon storms and summon dragons of your own to rain down fiery devastation. And we're just going to open up the booster pack and attempt to extrapolate some kind of meaning. That's what we do here if you're new. Guaranteed foil in every pack. Nice. Anyway, let's just get right into it. So, I mean, I guess I could have opened it. I had it face down because I didn't want to see which one I had picked. Ooh, I'm tearing this all the way up. I was kind of wanting to do this one first, but the other one is also pretty nice. I don't remember because I had intended to only buy one, and I actually overlooked this one. But then when I actually looked at it, I was like, oh, yeah, Dragonstorm. Hello. We're going to get that one too. What's the other one? I don't honestly remember. I honestly do not recall. Okay. There we go. Goodness. Da 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 da. I'm gonna try to open them face down. Hey Holly, how you doing? Oh, I fell today. Okay. This should be. Oh, but if it was a token. Oh, yep. Okay. Cool. We have a token on the bottom, and it's just a spirit. Excuse me. Let's get into it. Is there anything else? Maybe we'll just like take a second to like chill. TFO. And breathe. It may be because of this card. I just saw the Temple Path in my mind's eye from the Energy Oracle cards. Interestingly enough, set that there. Okay. That's not it. But it should be in here. Oh, literally right here. Literally. God damn. Am I going to look before and after the Temple Path? Sure. Why not? Why not? Oh, I don't have to. The Temple Path was the final card last time. Okay, this is going to make the shadows interesting. I have this like positioned in a way that I don't usually. It is what it is. Oh, whoa, hold up. Give me one moment to like figure out this whole situation really quick. Oh, gosh. To figure this situation out. To figure it out. No. Excuse me. So if I do like that and I do like this, there you go. Kind of, sort of. Good enough. Good enough, good enough, good enough, enough. Okay, so I have to turn this back on. Wow! Interesting. I think I may have seen something about that. I mean, I didn't click on the article, but I get sciencey news that pops up on my phone. And like oh gosh, in the news section. I guess I'm forcing this thing to focus today because I have the power to do so. Just like that. So this, oh, too many cards. Oh, it's a double-sided. Okay. So the side that I saw, this is, one second. This is the card. It was spirit. It's a spirit token creature spirit, right? And it's multiple. You can see it has like a star for the power and toughness. On the other side, it's a 3/3 token spirit creature, but it's an individual spirit rather than a group of spirits. Something about this made me think of the Temple Path. And I was like, oh, it's probably like the colors, right? Maybe. Maybe not. And I was going to look before and after. Bottom of the deck is Journey, but it was the last card, so I didn't have to. It was already there. As if by providence, the last time I used this deck, it was like, I don't even remember when I used that last. I think the initiate is spirit. No, the seeker is spirit in search of experience. There's something interesting here. I don't know. There's a vibe of spirits that have found a world yet uninhabited by man. Excuse me, baby. Let's see. Let's see what comes of this today. I get lucky. I feel like a lot for the amount of preparation that doesn't go into these live readings. Rugged highlands. We have this fire and earth land. This land enters tapped. Okay, that, yeah. When this land enters, you gain 1 life. I think that may be not every land that you put into play gives you life, but this land does. And it's interesting that it's this intersection of fire and earth because I feel like I was talking about a volcano recently. Like in one of the last few videos, there was it could have been in the Queen of Pentacles in the 8-bit fantasy tarot, like the dormant volcano that's behind her. But I know like rich volcanic soil energy came out recently. It says we may fight the Temur when territory demands it, but we've no desire to profane their sacred places. Taklai, Mardu Convoy. Butchering all of these words. We may fight the Timur when territory demands it, but we've no desire to profane their sacred places. I'm assuming Timur are dragons because this is Dragon's Dorm. And I guess there was this energy here with an area like spirits that entered an area yet untouched by man. What an interesting intersection of necessity and respect for the sacred. The next card is Shiny Watcher of the Wayside, an ancient golem creature. When this card enters, target player mills 2 cards, you gain 2 life. Against Dragon Lords, Khans, and Ugin himself, the golem survives. Original purpose forgotten, it awaits orders that will never come from a world that has moved on without it. See, it's holographic. Ooh. Original purpose forgotten, it awaits orders that will never come from a world that has moved on without it. How interesting. I mean, we're 3 cards in, but it feels like, and the Temple Path too. Maybe I should have kept the cards out. Um, for a golem to forget its original purpose would have had to have been accomplished. Because if not, it would still be doing whatever it was designed to program to do. Right. Not only would it have completed its purpose, but it would have been some time. This is your invitation to take whatever as it resonates, right? Um, I'm, these are literally trading cards, game cards, you know? But it feels like in reverence for the land where the Timur lives. This Watcher of the Wayside has been like, if the land wasn't respected or considered to be sacred, or if the sacredness of the land weren't respected, it feels like someone would have discovered the Watcher some time ago, right? Oh, there was something. There was something in my mind, and then it slipped. I shouldn't have picked up the phone, but it's okay. This was it was giving me the vibes of, I already kind of got, and it was from another Magic the Gathering card booster pack series, so I shouldn't be surprised. Every now and then it comes up, but it almost brings to mind. It brought to mind the energy of the place where time doesn't exist, the tower, where time doesn't exist. And it was what Mazzy, the True Sword Paladin, that was going through her challenges that had ended up in the vicinity of the tower. Oh, wow. The next card is Awaken the Honored Dead. See, I feel like I mean, it's within the same family of cards, within the same framework of narrative, this booster pack in the Dragonstorm universe, within the Magic the Gathering multiverse. But they be consistent. Awaken the Honored Dead. As this saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after 3. So the first one, destroy target non-land permanent. Second, mill 3 cards. Third, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Is this not? No, not necessarily. I wonder if the stone relief, like one of these spirits. There's something about authority or protocols. There's something about authority and protocol when it comes to the Watcher of the Wayside. And it could be ancestry. I was going to say descendantship. I was like, descendantship isn't a word. I don't know what it's related to, but it feels like someone approaches that space. The golem recognizes the authority of someone and they give this ancient golem new purpose. It's all like implied, right? It's like if I'm watching this as a movie, reading this as a series of things to happen at some point, because otherwise it's like, why else would this be of note? You know what I mean? Why would it be mentioned if it weren't relevant or if it weren't to become relevant at some point? Also, there is an inheritance of spirit that is like a recognition. This inheritance and recognition of spirit brings to mind the patrons and the forces that cosign someone's more dumb. Um, when someone becomes more, or when someone becomes capable or able of doing more, like the authority that someone gains or the power that someone is entrusted with or learns, like their initiation into that is confirmed and co-signed by someone with an authority to do so. And so there's also an implication of a shared sacred space. There's an interesting energy of I want to say like paradox or dilemma here. And we see it in terms of like when people who least want power are put in positions of power, or people who least want to lead become leaders. Someone who can respect authority. And it's for people who are under that authority. Most people would rather someone in that position that respects what that authority is rather than someone who craves authority, power, rulership, or whatever. Because the one that respects it is more likely to not abuse it. Right. And so it's almost like an invitation to these sacred lands, potentially. I mean, I'm 4 cards in out of 14. 14 or 15. It's almost like an invitation to the sacred lands. And again, it's because they're respected, which is an interesting concept to ponder, especially in certain spaces where access is our birthright. You know what I mean? And it's not that someone can't respect something that they feel is theirs to inherit, but again, that sense of oh, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Entitlement. The sense of entitlement can dull respect. I feel like this isn't even necessarily anything done with Awaken the Honored Dead. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It feels like there are plenty of rituals and ceremonies and stories of how to do this. But there's something like endearing about like an innocence and respect, I guess. I feel like I'm throwing that word around a lot today. RESPECT, The next card is the Dragonologist. It's a human wizard creature. There's no flavor text, but I'll read it. When this creature enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Untapped dragons you control have hex proof. Oh, wow. What an interesting image. There we go. It focused. Yay. I don't know why the light is so like tricky today. I feel like last time it just like worked. You know what I mean? This is interesting. I feel like I know I need to stop looking at my phone. 1 second. What an interesting dichotomy to the last time we saw like the dragons in the island prison and the warden that um that convinced the long lost dragon prince that she was anyway. Dragonologist. And it's the image more than anything. Almost like there is power in this connection, right? It's like this whatever is in her hand is a manifestation of the power of this little worm or something. And like visually it's connected. So, is that oh, I guess I have seen an anime recently. Um I feel like there's always a movie or a video game or an anime or something. There's a manifestation of this connection that empowers one's ability to do or accomplish something. I want to say it's a weapon, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a weapon. But it does bring a specific something to mind, the energy of which actually came out recently. I wish, like, because I'll do these. Sometimes I wish that, like, I journaled or, like, wrote down certain insights or something because, like, while I'm doing it, I'd be like, wow. And then it's just like, I end the live, I go on about my day, and then, you know what I mean? Next is Formation Breaker. Wait, have we? No, I wouldn't have seen this beast before. Creatures with power less than this creature's power can't block it. As long as you control a creature with a counter on it, this creature gets +1 power, +2 toughness. The war charges seem restless. Let them out to play. This is a border guard. Interesting. Uh, the only creature that has more power than this is the one of the wayside. Is the golem that survived like dragons and Khan and whoever Ugin is. But it would be destroyed in the process because it has 2 toughness and the formation breaker has 2 power. I don't know if the destruction of this would come because of its age or if it would be because of a lack of purpose, right? Like the golem would have defense, self defense protocols that would enable it to protect itself, but not necessarily with the same uh, will or drive as if it had received an order. Next is Mardu Monument, which is an artifact. When this artifact enters your library for a basic mountain, plains, or swamp card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. So, for a certain amount of mana, you can sacrifice this artifact to create 3/1/1 red warrior creature tokens. They gain menace and haste until end of turn. Activate 3. A creature with menace can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So what is that, like spirits of the deceased that reanimate from within the monument? Why is this so? 1 second. I think it's like tilted up slightly, and maybe that's why it's like. It is what it is. I shouldn't, because I'm like, why? Maybe. What is happening? Can I do that? Kind of helps. I'm like, what has changed? I don't know. Usually it's more over here. Maybe that's why. Like, what is going on with the situation? I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. There you go. I wonder if it's the spirit of the spirits in the monument. Now that definitely feels like some kind of defense protocol from the formation breaker. But it's like cannon fodder. The token creatures wouldn't be strong enough to block against the formation breaker. But it's better to lose the token creature than it is to lose life. I don't know what that was. Oh, also, this monument has like wings on it. I mean, both on the actual monument, but also in the background of the text. Cannon fodder is such an it's an interesting energy to see. I think the last time we saw cannon fodder, it makes me think of like the red gems and the taunting kobolds. It's something that you can afford to lose. Something that you can afford to lose to protect that which you can't. Maybe this is like all outside of this sacred space. Next is Whirlwind Stormbrood, which is a dragon. Woo, 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 woo. You may cast sorcery spells and dragon spells as though they had flash. So, as a sorcery, you can put 3+1/+1 counters on target creature you control, then shuffle this card into owner's library. So, with the power of the Whirlwind Stormbrood, and you can empower 3 creatures. With the power of the Whirlwind Stormbrood, you could empower each of these red warrior creatures, and then they would be strong enough to not only block but also defeat the formation breaker because it has a +2/+1. All right, 2 power, 1 toughness. And then the creatures, the red warriors, would be 2 power, 2 toughness. So one of them wouldn't necessarily survive the onslaught, but it would be enough to take out the formation breaker. See, but then there's something interesting about this interaction with the omen sorcery dynamic soar of the whirlwind stormbrood, because it brings to mind this sort of connection, right? This weapon was the manifestation of the connection to that dragon or that worm. Just like this dragon sorcery would be enough to empower these warriors to defeat the formation breaker. So right now we have connection as one, I don't want to say weapon, Connection as one source of empowerment, and purpose as another. Purpose for the golem, connection for the dragonologist, and for this whirlwing stormbrood. Next is the Jade Cast Sentinel, which is an ape snake artifact creature. It has reach, and for 2 mana, you can put a target card from your graveyard on the bottom to the bottom of the owner's library. Set in motion by artificers long forgotten, it remained loyal through the ages to the occupants of Keru City. Very tough, not necessarily powerful. The ape snake Jade Cast Sentinel. Almost like a Naga, but more ape than person. Interesting. Well, here's like another golem type. It remained loyal through the ages to the occupants of the city. Again, it feels like it's because this sacred space has been left deserted for so long that the Watcher of the Wayside has forgotten so much. Let's get one of these. Why not? I guess authority is also a part of this. Authority, purpose, and connection. I want to see what authority. I don't know if these cards will help, but there was the Temple Path connection. So, what is the authority that the Wayside Watcher of the Wayside, recognizes? Okay, cool. Interesting. So 3 cards came out. 2 of them face up, 1 face down, 1 face up behind, 1 face up. Action and 4th Chakra Archangel Raphael. This like heart-based action. Love it. Behind action is yin and yang. Yin yang action with the heart chakra. So that's why. This and it's no, maybe that's why too. That's the thing that awakens the honored dead. So not only is it the heart of someone, but it's also the actions that they take. Which is probably also why this manifests as a weapon. This connection manifests as a weapon. Hostilities at the bottom of the deck. But again, it's a kind of power that those who seek will never find. Just like the one that doesn't want authority ending up in a position of authority. It's the kind of power that cannot be sought after. Which, in some cases, feels a little extreme. Because it's like if a situation is dire enough, like power can be sought out of love or to protect something, not only to dominate and control and to force, right? But maybe in that case, it's like, well, if you seek power for good, then there are like tools in place to overcome any kind of challenge. This being the challenge. So even that is not good enough reason for the honored dead to be stirred from their graves. Interesting. 22, 17, 38. 19. 19 is half of 38. Next, we have Stormplane Detainment, which is an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Elspeth. Elspeth saw their capture as an inconvenience, casting them precious time. Narset saw it as an opportunity to recruit allies to their cause. This flavor text, I feel like, is so specific for anybody who would know what that situation is, but for someone who has no clue, I'm just like, okay. Elspeth saw their capture as an inconvenience, costing them precious time. Narset saw it as an opportunity to recruit allies to their cause. Um, Interesting. This is a new line, by the way. The first card in this line was this Jade Sentinel, the Jade Cast Sentinel. So, assuming there is a place, Keru City, protected by these Jade Sentinels, right? But let's say that these Jade Sentinels are in that were created by artificers long forgotten. Like Keru City is well hidden, right? Keru City doesn't feel like the whole. Was this the card? Yeah, it is. Oh, it is. I was like, where have I seen Mardu before? So a Mardu convoy was the one who said, "We may fight the Timur when territory demands it, but we've no desire to profane their sacred places." And this is the Mardu monument. I know the dots are literally connecting now, but because I was gonna say that this rugged highlands do not like visually as well. I mean, there could be, yeah, these don't feel like it's in the same area as this Jade Cast Sentinel. These highlands, it feels like that's where the Watcher of the Wayside is, right? And so it's almost like in lieu of finding the golem that's rumored to have survived dragons and time, there's this knowledge of the Jade Cast Sentinels, but no one knows where Keru City is. So we have two people, Elspeth and Narset, at least, who may be among a group of people that are looking for these Jade Cast Sentinels. So they're looking for Keru City, which is well hidden. Along their way of finding it, they get captured. Elspeth sees it as a waste of time because they're supposed to be trying to find the city. Narset can tie their captors to residents of Keru City or an extension of the authority of Keru City. So Neru sees it as an opportunity to maybe actually like find the city. Now, within a certain context, there is an incredibly well aligned internal pathway to some kind of connection to awaken, to catch the attention of the honored dead and for them to awaken and to bestow some kind of authority or whatever. Right. That's like the natural, I don't want to say natural, that's one path. On the other side, or on the other hand, there is like ingratiating oneself to the ones who inherited something from long ago, which is reading like system structures, dogma, beliefs, right? I guess this is a theme that is running recently over here, at least. Shouldn't be surprised, but the natural path is natural because it doesn't necessarily require a mentor or a teacher or knowledge, right? Someone being who they are with like yin yang and heart, it's like their makeup, their balance, and the actions that they take, not only how they present in the world, but how they move and navigate through it. That's realized, recognized, and like contact will be initiated with them or for them, and life will see them to wherever they need to go. We'll see them to these sacred, rugged highlands. Next is the Dirger Island Dragon, another instant omen. Skimming Strike. So this one has Ward. So for 2 mana, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 2 mana. So with this, you can tap up to one target creature, draw a card, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. What's interesting about these dragons is that not only are they water dragons, which I guess is interesting, um, but after they use their ability, they return to the owner's hand or to the owner's library. You put them back in the deck and you shuffle it. There's no permanence with this. I started listening to He Who Fights with Monsters upon recommendation from one of my friends who I always forget is like into the stuff that he's into. But it's this concept within the framework of that universe. They have like magic and skills and abilities and stuff like that. And there are natural ways to acquire and empower or enhance their abilities and skills, which is like traditional learning or practice, years of dedication and effort. But they also have like skill books and they have different cores to like enhance abilities. And like if you use a skill book, it'll give you knowledge. If you use a core, it'll empower your abilities without the need to like really do any work besides acquire the books or the cores. And like, of course, the higher you go, the more it takes, like the more cores it would take to empower an ability, the stronger the ability gets. And with certain skills, it's like the book will give you the knowledge, but it won't necessarily give you understanding. And these like single use dragons, it's kind of like that. It's giving me that kind of like vibe and energy of like a core or a skill book. You can call upon this dragon to do whatever for you. And in a moment of need and in a moment of crisis, you know, well done. But there's an impermanence to it. It goes back to where it came from. Unlike with the Dragonologist that came out after Awaken the Honored Dead, because this connection is sustained, the gift, skill, ability, and whatever that you gain from that connection is more permanent. And so it's almost like, again, there can be draws. I can draw connections to how we approach a generalized, maybe overly generalized approach to what seems to be a modern spirituality manifestation, whatever, where it's like you could say, well, if you do this and you do that and you do these other things, then your manifestation will work. And so we can learn more about practice and ritual and what to do to get something to work rather than understanding like how or why. And of course, there are plenty of explanations that are offered, but is that an explanation that's offered to explain why something is happening, or is it an explanation offered based off of some kind of like truer wisdom or whatever? Right? Like, not that there's anything, just for an example, right? Like, you can say that, like, use gratitude to manifest whatever, because when you're in lack, it's hard to manifest from a place of lack, right? And so it's like, the energetic vibration of gratitude is higher than the one of lack. And so, blah, it's like that's all of the, not to say that it's true, it's just the example that's coming to mind. Like, that's the reason why gratitude works to manifest things, because your vibration is higher and you're grateful. And when you're grateful to the universe wants to give you more things to be grateful for. Excuse me, but there could be like a reason, a deeper reason, or a truer reason why gratitude is more whatever. What would it be beyond that? I don't know. It's a metaphor. It's an example. It's also to prove a point. Like, we wouldn't know. We can come up with all kinds of like logic and reasoning to explain why something would work or wouldn't work. And so I guess like the comedic principles or laws of the universe or whatever, those would be like these jade cat left since Hermes Trismegistus or whoever thousands of years ago discovered whatever the Atlantis. But again, there's something about inherited knowledge, especially inherited knowledge from so long ago, that all we have are like inferences, you know, inferences, best guesses, science that we can do today, and science in like hypothesis testing, stuff like that. Not necessarily science in a hard science type of way, like the scientific method, right? If I do this, it works. These could be the reasons why it works, but it's like all conjecture, regardless of how informed it is, unless someone's like speaking with someone who was there. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's something interesting that I noticed. The next card is the undergrowth leopard. Well, we got cats. Sacrifice this creature to destroy target artifact or enchantment. So if you sacrifice the undergrowth leopard, you could destroy the Mardu monument or the Jade Cast Sentinel, Stormplane Detainment, or the Watcher of the Wayside. Because those are like, I'm assuming if you can destroy an artifact, you can destroy an artifact creature. You know what I mean? There are those who developed peculiar taste after generations of dining upon the remains of interclan rivalry. It's also interesting to me that a lot of the more antagonistic this time energies are of the earth element, right? The formation breaker and this undergrowth leopard, both of the earth element. The dragons are of the water element, water speaking to connection, like no real surprise there. Even the dragonologist is of the water element. Now, to sort of further cement that, awaken the honored dead is at the intersection of earth and water. Actually, earth, water, and shadow, swamp or dark. You see, earth, dark, and water. And then everything else is elementless. There's no element associated with them. I feel like the dark or the shadow or the swamp of Awaken the Honored Dead is what is like left unknown. Right. Because especially with this sacred land associated to these spirits, it's like you would assume that it would be an intersection of like light, earth, and water, but it's not. It's dark. And again, it just feels like it's dark because it's not like the knowledge of that. For one, the knowledge isn't in circulation, and for two, because it is something that is deeply internal to oneself. Again, in that audiobook I'm listening to, He Who Fights with Monsters, it said, I just heard, and it's even outside of the literature, it exists. Um, we find out who we really are in times of darkness. It's not in times of light and joy and happiness and peace. It's not when everything is going well in our lives that we truly discover who we are. Because in those situations, who wouldn't be whatever? But it's when we're tested, when we're challenged, when we're tried, that we find out what we're really made out of. What we're really made of. And again, there's something about the Watcher of the Wayside. There's something about however the honored dead are awakened, however that transfer of authority, or however it's recognized, that authority is recognized, that goes unspoken. Like again, it feels like this is the second time we see two sort of instances of some kind of conflict already. The overcoming of that conflict, but even that doesn't stir the honored dead from their sacred beds. I couldn't resist the rhyme. Because that's being human. That's life on earth 101. It's nothing necessarily spectacular. There have been many, 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 many people who have felt all of the things that we feel today. Some of them in times where things were even worse. Some of them in places where things are even worse. And it's like none of that is new. Suffering is not new, unfortunately. Um, and the depths of the cruelty of man isn't new. But that brings to mind, it had to be last year. There was an energy of like something, I don't remember specifically what it was, but it was something like people who like truly need salvation, or people who would most deserve salvation, like not getting it. Or it was like suffering doesn't entitle someone to something because something is always happening. Someone is always suffering. Unfortunately, it's the world we live in. And for those who are unaffected and who have the opportunity to be blissfully unaware or unmoved by the suffering of others, it is not like entitled to them that when misfortune visits them, that they be treated any differently than anybody else. Right? How weird is it's fine. It's fine. We don't have to go there. No, again, there is like temporary relief. There are things here. I almost question the motives of our friends who got trapped. Friends, that's a strong word. Of Elspeth and Narset, who got trapped in the storm plane detainment. Like, why are they looking for these Jade Cast Sentinels? Are they looking for the Jade Cast Sentinels to destroy them? Are they trying to find Keru City to expose it to the world and reap the harvest left to them by generations upon generations of their ancestors? Maybe, you never know. I mean, I'm assuming it's hidden for a reason. But as of now, this leopard is just the undergrowth leopard is just stalking in the bushes. And again, it said there are those who developed peculiar taste after generations of dining upon the remains of inter-clan rivalry. Like these things have been feeding on conflict and just the endless cycles of conflict from generation to generation. Sometimes the wheel will spin and one person will, or one peoples will be the victors, and then it turns and now they're the not victors. And I feel like that's another thing that puts the rugged highlands so far from all of this. It's another thing that makes it so difficult to find, enter, be recognized and acknowledged by those in those sacred spaces. There is something incredibly almost inhuman about the one that can awaken the honored dead with yin yang action in the heart chakra. But it's inhuman in a way that's like it doesn't necessarily fall prey to the pitfalls of a life lived on earth in a way that most, if not all, humans do. There's something retained, something that yet remains, something of the spirit that is kept alive, undiminished by time. Like a spark that hasn't dulled, or that is still luminous enough to. Oof. Now we have a grand soldier. The Sand Skitter Outrider. A goblin soldier. Sorry. I don't know why my brain said gorilla. We have a goblin soldier. This creature can't be blocked except by two or more creatures. It has menace. When this creature enters, it endures two. So you can put 2+1 counters on it or create a 2/2 white spirit creature token. So when this creature enters battle, you can either empower it by two toughness and power, or you can create a white spirit creature token with that two toughness and power. What's interesting about this goblin soldier associated with dark, with swamp, it has that dark element, is that it creates these white spirit creature tokens. I don't know if all spirit creature tokens are white, but it's like you would assume that this goblin warrior of the dark, goblin soldier, would create like a dark spirit or like some kind of demon or something. But it doesn't. I feel like in part there's another tie in connection to the dark here in Awaken the Honored Dead. There's another tie to that there. But I'm pretty sure the last time we saw Mazzy the True Sword Paladin, it was there was a story of, in order to prepare someone for, it was like this battle of humanity, but battle of humanity within the heart, mind, spirit of a person, right? Like there was the one who had become the worst of the worst, and who maybe it's one of your classic dreamer, hopeful, rebel turned villain, right? Through enough disappointment and betrayal and experience of hatred from people, they realize that that's all that people have to give. So they're going to be the biggest, baddest, and worst of them all. You know, if everyone just takes advantage of people, then they're going to be the one that takes advantage of everyone else. But then there was like Mazzy the True Sword Paladin, whose heart was true and blah, blah, blah. And it was almost a test to see if, again, if the spirit of a person, if the spirit of man can remain untarnished, enduring the same life that everybody lives. But there was one um, energy, I guess, that you wouldn't expect to assist the light, but it did. Anyway, something about this sand skitter outrider is interesting. It's like it doesn't play for who you think it would. Next is Seize Opportunity. Whoa. Oh, I didn't even read the flavor text. There's a new sinkhole, 7 leagues east. I'll take Scratchy, is the flavor text. That new sinkhole, is a sinkhole what I think it is? Um, I don't know if I can find an image. Okay, yeah, it is. Um, because of the tie to Awaken the Honored Dead, it feels like this sinkhole is the result of one of these honored ones reemerging, I guess you could say. Right. And maybe you find out that this is back in the I'm trying to remember literally anyone besides Jurassic. There's one that started with a C. The Cretaceous. Is it like or something like that? Cretaceous. CRETA Cretaceous period. Maybe it's yeah. Whoop, whoop. The Cretaceous period was the last period of the Mesozoic era, lasting from approximately 145 to 66 million years ago. It's known for the dominance of dinosaurs, the rise of flowering plants, and the mass extinction event that marked the end of the period and the Mesozoic era. So she's given like Cretaceous girl back in the time where people were giants and everything was just like ginormous. This new sinkhole is like, this isn't an honored dead rising from a hole in the ground that's like, I don't know, whatever the dimensions of a hole in the ground are now for people. It's like, you know, And it's like, oh, somebody woke up. What? I'll take Scratchy. We'll go check it out. Interesting. Also, there is another watermark on this card. Just like there was on the Mardu monument. Interesting. Seven Leagues East. So something in the East has awakened. Maybe a Dragon of the East. Seize opportunity. It's an instant. So you can either exile the top two cards of your library until the end of your next turn, or up to two target creatures each get +2 power +1. In this year's Lightning Proving, Paula reclaimed her confidence in her place in the Mardu. See? That's the image. There's almost a beast in the lightning. It's almost giving me like a lion, maybe. It's like that's the head and the mane, that's the body, the legs, the end of it, and then like a little tail. It's also interesting that this is a lightning proving because in the last live, lightning was the card that came out for the person who was basically becoming the dictator of their own reality, the ruler of their own reality, with the demiurge, the giver, and lightning. Also, another tie in connection to the Mardu. See this in this year's Lightning Proving, Paula reclaimed her confidence and her place in the Mardu. This could be like the first person who's returning to these Mardu lands. In the Lightning Proving, something about that gave her the authority that the Watcher of the Wayside will recognize. See, I knew even like 3, 4 cards in, I was like, I'm saying a lot. I know like the cards aren't on the table yet, but otherwise, like the Watcher would not be here. Like you don't. This isn't how things go for them to not be relevant in some way. You know what I mean? Thank you. And it's also interesting because in the other deck, the it may have been called the Command Tower. I don't remember. When Mazzy the True Sword Paladin went through her trials, there was like lightning in the background, and it looked like there were beings in the lightning. And here again, we see a lightning proving. Cool. Love that. Love that. Still don't necessarily know what the lightning is. Actually, I know a while ago, in yesteryear, the days of yore, Rob and Reem did joint live. Maybe it wasn't live. Maybe it was pre-recorded. They did a joint pre-recorded, and I think Reem had a dream about lightning beings, and there was something that came up in that reading. That was a while ago. I feel like I feel like I was not thinking about that at all. But for some reason, like when I started talking about it, it almost seemed like I've been like thinking about that lately, or I thought about it lately. I haven't, like consciously at least. I'm like, I don't think I've no. But for some reason, as I mentioned it, it feels like it's been in my periphery lately for some reason. But I am so sure that it has not been consciously. The last card is the Riling Dawnbreaker. Whoa, we get another dragon, but this is a dragon of light. or a basic dragon. All the other dragons were dragons of water. This is actually the first card and only card. No, the Stormplane Detainment was also light or basic. These are the only two. The force that protects Karu City from outsiders, and this Writhing Dawnbreaker. So this one has, excuse me, Signaling Roar. So for it has flying and vigilance at the beginning of combat on your turn. Another target creature you control gets +1 power until end of turn. So create a 2/2 white soldier creature token. Then shuffle this card into owner's library. So this one creates a white soldier token, whereas the Sanskrit or Outrider can create a white spirit token. Both of 2 power and toughness. Cool. This is the only card of fire on the table. Okay, I see you. I see you. This intersection between fire and earth, where we've seen like so much strife and a lot of the antagonistic cards and energies were in the element of earth. There's also the element of fire where the rugged highlands, that sacred place is, right? The only other fire card on the table is Seize Opportunity. Is Pala being welcomed into the Mardu, which I'm assuming is associated with this place. Also, you have the forces of light and dark that are both working with this Seize Opportunity. White soldier tokens, white spirit tokens. And we had the yin yang, right? Yin and yang with action and the heart. Yin and yang can just as easily be the balancing of, oh, well, you see in the action card, there's one white horse and one dark horse. So it's in both of those. I was going to say yin yang can be the balance of light and dark, just as feminine and masculine or whatever. And we see that here with Seize Opportunity, Pala and the lightning. This lightning, for some reason, it makes me think of, before I left, I think it was one of the last lives that I did. I know it was one of the last ones I did. Was it the full moon? Or was it a new moon? I feel like it had something to do with the moon. It was a full moon in Scorpio. Because I remember, was it full moon Scorpio? I mean, it would have had to be full moon Scorpio. It wasn't full moon Libra. And the tower came out, and there was something about, like, if you stay inside of the tower during the tower, you would see like the real sky or the real crown. And it feels like that was part of this like lightning proving. See, when all of this earth energy started coming out, there was this interesting feeling of like some kind of force that is not light or dark. Like it feels like we as people would associate it with like darkness or evil or something, but it's something that like arose from the land. It's something that arose from the land. It's not something that is truly of like light or dark. And that could be like something like greed, I guess. Right? we can attribute greed to whatever, but I don't know. It almost feels like a natural malady or a byproduct of living, right? Not necessarily connected to what is truly dark. You can call it shadow because shadow is anything that would obstruct the light. And then there's anti shadow, which is anything that would obstruct darkness. But just because it can create darkness by obstructing light, or just because something can create light by obstructing darkness, doesn't necessarily make it of light or dark, right? It's just like something in the way, you know, something potentially strategically positioned to appear to be whatever, but it isn't. Interesting. Cool. Well, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 cards on the table. Yep, yep, yep. I think it was that full moon Scorpio. Because I remember seeing the death card. I think it just came out. I don't think I had to look for it. I don't remember. Because I know it wasn't like in Aries season. I knew it was too recent to be that. And I knew it was a full moon because I remember looking for the sun. Um, because the sun was in Taurus and the moon. Well, the sun was in one sign, the moon was in the opposite sign. So it had to be the full moon Scorpio by process of elimination. I guess by process of elimination and knowing how astrology works, right? Full moon, moon in opposite sign, new moon, moon in the same sign, astrologically. And I guess astrophysically, right? Cool. It's also interesting. I think I mentioned it earlier. It's interesting that the impression of the temple path came out just at like looking at the spirit token. So even before the rugged highland and its sacredness came out, it was like, oh, temple path. Let's get one final card from here. Oh, okay. Do these count? Sure, I'll take them. Why not? So hostilities, broken heart, and third chakra archangel Canuel. Yeah, and it's just like it's a clear difference. There's a clear difference between like someone who acts from a place of a broken heart, the solar plexus being associated with action, and hostilities also being associated with action. Also, broken heart here compared to the heart space, heart chakra of fourth chakra archangel Raphael. This is yin yang action, heart chakra. So even if in this yin yang something would appear to be mean or cruel or whatever, it's almost like it isn't. I don't want to say it isn't because it could appear to be so, but it's not from this place of like it's not from a broken heart. It's actually from a place of wholeness, right? And that's when you can get into like there are certain things that people may do out of jealousy, envy, or spite, right? Like, oh, you're jealous of me, that's why you don't support me, or that's why you didn't blah 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 blah, whatever. And yeah, that can be true. But like if someone is busy and they love you, but they can't flex time and so they don't show up, it doesn't mean that they're secretly envious or jealous. It means that they have a life. And unfortunately, things just didn't work out. So again, it can be perceived, it can not feel great emotionally. And from a place of being hurt, we can take a twisted frame or lens or whatever, or we can spew insecurity or whatever, we can project. Also, there are things that are like more extreme than like that. But like there's a clear difference between someone who acts from a broken heart and someone who doesn't. And the difference is not always in their actions. But this is the thing about life. This is the thing about living on earth. It's like in one way or another, all of our hearts break. And again, it's that whole like suffering is not necessarily guarantee any kind of whatever, because suffering has always been and will always be. Suffering is not a unique experience, unfortunately. And also, unfortunately, again, the suffering of others doesn't always stir us to any kind of resolution, especially on someone else's part or behalf. Cool. So that was this booster pack. I feel like there is supposed to be comfort in the whole like when we need it, help is there. The divine, like there are things in place to assist, but none of it necessarily permanent. Everything, it's like it intervenes and then it goes back to where it came from. And that is the limitation, or that's the limit of these connections. So yeah, we can learn enough to manifest or learn enough to intervene. We can learn enough to like call upon these dragons in the situations that we need them. But this is not the same as having that actual connection. Cool. Also, there's a yin yang between the dragonologist and sees opportunity. Oh, it literally is 2 mana and a water, 2 mana and a fire. You see that? They're both number two. Two is the number of what? Dualities and polarities and stuff like that. Cool. Interesting. Yeah. That was whatever this is. I feel like the theme is becoming pretty consistent. Again, this interests me. Wait, this is 3/3. So this spirit is even more powerful than the one summoned by the goblin soldier. Because the Sand Skitter Outrider can summon a 2/2 white spirit creature. This is a 3/3 white spirit creature. This and this. I think it's no, there is no power associated with this. I was gonna say like this could have some kind of association to this seize opportunity. And then once oops, I tried. Once the Mardu is rejoined, then like now there's a community of spirits where there's this almost not rogue or forgotten, but this awakened spirit on the outside. The return of this awakened spirit is what stirs the honored dead from their slumber. That's when they awaken and join in some kind of communion or celebration or whatever they do. Girl, I don't know. Oh wait, I'm gonna do it like this. No, like this. Right? Yeah. Wait, no. Like this. Yeah. Okay. Right? This singular solitary spirit returns, and then you get the community and awaken the honored dead. There you go. Cool. And again, it's like all of that happens outside of whatever events are occurring on Earth. At least that part happens. Again, it's not that there isn't inter. Oh, look, the woman holding a heart with the door to personal healing and happiness. We got a card over here. I don't necessarily know. It's been a string of these readings. I don't necessarily know why. I'm not necessarily questioning it. I just do it. Take it as it resonates. If it resonates, and if it don't resonate, don't take it. And of course, as things are magical and fantastical, who doesn't want to be the whatever? But hey. And again, it goes back to the whole skill book thing. There are things that we can do and acquire based off of other practices, based off of studied interactions, but there are other pathways. And I feel like it's been a lot of like other pathways type uh, energies. I want to get one of these because it caught my eye earlier. Oh, okay, okay. I don't know if this deck will necessarily help me. This is going to be the dragon. The star, the star dragons is going to be the dragon. And then they might be in storage. I don't think I have the Star Dragon Oracle with me. Oh, I do have it. It's not the Star. The Star Dragons is the ones that I literally had. The Dragon Oracle. Because we've seen a lot of like temporary. I don't want to say temporary dragon powers. Temporary like divine intervention. But we didn't necessarily see anything lasting. Not that we necessarily would. And not that the information would necessarily be whatever. Anyway, and in light of in light of this, the Star Dragon is going to be the dragon. The Dragon Oracle card is going to be something akin to the result of that connection, the manifestation of the connection. What was in the left hand rather than the dragon that was, or I guess technically the right hand rather than the dragon that was connected to her left, the dragonologist. Cool. I'll just give it a few preliminary shuffles because I'm not necessarily looking for a card right now. I am going to do I'll do the final energy oracle card after. So this is, but I feel like there would be so many different like spirits or kinds of spirits or so many different facets of spirit. It wouldn't be one that is representative of all. So with that understanding in mind, can we see one dragon, please? And the manifestation of that connection. Cool. Oof. Interesting. 2 cards. Wow. Wow. Okay. I love this. The first one is like whatever. The second one is an actual whatever. The first card that came out is knowledge. And it's interesting because where I'm at and listening to He Who Fights with Monsters, um, he's just been appraised by an acolyte of the god of knowledge or goddess of knowledge. And the goddess of knowledge specifically told this acolyte to be present to assess. Well, the goddess of knowledge told that acolyte specifically to show up to do the assessments for this day in general. Only two people got assessed, right? And then there came the time where the technology was having difficulty reading the person. And then I guess the goddess of knowledge, like told her acolyte, this is what it is. And then after a while, I think in the same day or the next day, he's told by someone, like, if you have a question or if like the goddess of knowledge would help you with this. So when you have some time, you should go by her temple. And like her thing is helping people on their way to whatever they're looking for. So she's like, the advice may be less than helpful, but it'll put you on the right path. So anyway, in the world, in the gods that exist in this world, specifically like the god of knowledge was called out. And then to see this dragon of knowledge right here is like, oh wow, interesting, cool. Behind knowledge is freedom, breaking the chains, number 24. Interesting. Also, the Rare Gazelle posted a story about freedom today. Check her out on IG to see for yourself what it said, but she did mention freedom. So it's interesting that I have like these two kind of synchronicities, like between listening to the audiobook this morning when I was at the gym and then like catching Reem's story. Knowledge and freedom are both here. Oof, how far? Where is the zoom? It's all the way up there. Okay, cool. If it doesn't want to focus, I'm not gonna focus it. Well, yeah, but I will. Because I said I was doing it today. I don't have to, but I will. Just interesting. Knowledge and freedom. What is the manifestation of this? This knowledge is also interesting because, like, the long forgotten artificers, the original peoples that had created the Watcher of the Wayside, like that forgotten technology to make the sentinels and the golems, and then to see this dragon of knowledge here. Cool. Also with freedom and how that existed outside of the events that were taking place on Earth. Oh, the earth and water dragon. Wait, not the earth and water dragon. When awakened, the honored dead was what? Dark earth and water. Crazy. I mean, if it had been a fire dragon, then like, you know, um, or earth and fire dragon because of Rugged Highlands. But the presence of those dragons was they showed up to combat. There it is. It was dark earth and water. They showed up to combat those natural forces. And again, I felt like those natural antagonistic forces felt like things that are a result of living a life on Earth. It's not necessarily light versus dark or whatever. It's just what we do to survive and how we are physically, mentally, psychologically impacted as we go about our lives. Right? Creates the foundation for new growth. A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. I don't know what I was expecting. Oh, well, this is the manifestation of knowledge and freedom. The manifestation of the dragon of knowledge and freedom is creating foundations for new growth. And I love the new growth here, new opportunities, a fresh start, because again, it's like freedom from the old cycles of earth, or freedom from the old cycles of living, breaking these chains. The manifestation of these broken chains is a fresh start. It follows, it checks, it makes sense. I don't know what I was expecting. I really don't. Bottom of the deck is the self gathering your power. Love that. And the green dragon helps you tune into the secrets of nature. Receive answers and guidance from nature. Align with your divine essence. Align with your divine essence and gathering your power between these two. And now we have a red and a green that's kind of like, or the red from like the fire or whatever. Anyway, align with your divine essence, gather your power. Interesting. Under the self is space. Space and the self gathering your power. It feels like it ties into like the dark earth and light, but the dark being like internally or within us. Cool. Kuan Yin's pink dragon is under the earth dragon, green dragon, under the green dragon. Oh, it does have a book. I was like, did this not come with a book? Hello? Oh, you don't have a number, do you? I don't think I'm gonna read all this. No. There are some books that I really love to read. There are other ones I'm just like, not for me, not for these purposes. Every now and then I'll be led to the book anyway, and I'll actually find something. Just like the last time I got into the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. That's a book I don't read, but it worked for last time. Anyway. Cool. Knowledge and freedom. New starts. Now we're going to get the final Energy Oracle card, and that will be a video. Ooh, that is shuffling so nasty. Blossoming abundance and community. Especially that blossoming abundance after that. The green dragon and the earth and water dragon. Ooh, door to value with blossoming abundance. Okay. Love that. I feel like I should have cut it again. Final card, please. I'm just going to keep going until I get a clean flip or a clean fall. I guess I will get another one. Let's see. The thinking man and the man holding a coin. That's almost an energy of like there are those who think and then those who do. Going back to the action of yin yang action in the heart, journey with the thinking man, and happy family with journey. We saw community with blossoming abundance earlier. Happy family with the journey of the thinking man and the man holding a coin. There we go. Oh wow. Well, cool. So number 14 is the card that came out. Bottom of the deck is number 35, first chakra, Archangel Michael. The card that came out is Caring Connections. Caring Connections is interesting because, again, in the Dragonologist, it was her connection to that dragon and the manifestation of the connection that provided something of more impact and permanence than the temporary relief of a dragon showing up when you need it the most and then going back to wherever it came from. So cool. Thanks, Holly, for stopping by. I hope you all have an amazing whatever. Whenever you see this, I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and where you find. And I do still have one more booster pack. It's in a different family. So let's see. It's right here. It is Ether Drifts. It was something about ether. I was like, oh yeah, I am definitely in. You're either first place or dead last. Start your engines for a high octane death race across the multiverse. Swerve through 3 planes of mayhem, dodging dangerous obstacles and rival racers along the way. Crew up unique vehicles and mounts as you discover which racing team best suits your style. Then hit the max speed to claim gold. I kind of like this after this one because this is almost like a whole different. This is a different ball game, a whole new world, realm, and reality. Like once that connection is online, it's like take off. Anyway, okay, cool. Now, you know what I mean. All right, so that was this death race. I'm not necessarily into, but taking off at speed, yes, ma'am. Sign me up. Thank you. All right, I'll catch y'all when I catch you. Bye.